Hello everyone. Today I bring you a game that I played with Vigilance versus Bombard. So I was white in this game, and my opponent as black is Memberr. And before we jump into this, let's kind of think about how I might approach this game of Bombard. So obviously, if I take one of Memberr scouts with my scout, I can use Vigilance and potentially be a scout up. Maybe he has to use Chastise, but then I can bring another scout in, use Charge, attack a scout, and then he has two scouts attacking him, and potentially an extra hole in his wall. So I'm either going to get a champion weaken, or I'm just going to get an extra scout out of that. I also have these two foot soldiers, which would be good for taking battle cries from these scouts, which they actually do. And my halberds over here, they will be very nice if I can get rid of a lot of the scouts, or really all of the scouts, because late game, when he has a lot of command points, he can use Bombard and attack with the scout to defeat a halberd. And then we have my champions, obviously, are going to try and, I guess, take out his champions. So let's just jump into it. So I'm going to develop some units here, and he's going to just kind of play around with his wall a bit. So I developed two scouts up first, and that's to prevent him to move any scouts up, because again, I can use Vigilance and charge the other one in. So none of his scouts are going to be in range of mine. You can also see they're not going to be able to gap any of my scouts because my scouts are farther over to the right over here, and they control all of this on the left. So he's just going to stay in the corner, and I move my foot soldier up 6 spaces, so now he's in charge range of this first row over here. Right, so he's still moving around with his wall. So I play my champion up, and at this point, he is about to get 125, or sorry, he's about to get 150 command points, and I play another scout up here, just to maybe get some more development, some more units in. And I don't want to play this scout up because I want to potentially keep this halberd to move back and seal off this wall. So I'll move this scout, but not this one over here. And so he's got 150 command points, and he could actually use Charge and Battle Cry on me right now. But I don't know. He doesn't. I guess he waits a turn. So I play my other foot soldier up a bit, and in hindsight, this foot soldier is currently protected by this halberd, right? So halberd can go here and attack anything that would hit the foot soldier. But remember, with that idea I said of pulling the halberd back a space to close this wall, then the foot soldier wouldn't really be in range anymore. So perhaps I should have played the foot soldier right here. So now he's actually going to use Charge and Battle Cry on this scout right here. Hit my champ to 200 HP. So now I'm going to try and trade this champion off for whatever I can get. It looks like it's going to be a few scouts, right? But I actually don't consider that too big of a deal, because two of my scouts would basically be one champion if they use Charge and Battle Cry both. So if I can get like 3 scouts from this champ, I already have 1. That might actually be pretty good for me. It is a bit of a gambit though. So he's going to close his wall up, and my champion moves here, and the reason that is, so he's got 200 HP, If any of these scouts come to attack my champion, then my champion can actually come in and charge one of his champions. So he can't do that. And also, he might potentially have another hold to close up after that. So he might come in, attack, use Chastise, but again, I have Vigilance to potentially counter that, and then I can come in, attack a scout, maybe just use Battle Cry after that, to defend from the other scouts, and then, capture a 4th scout, and that would actually be a pretty good deal for me. So he's just moving his wall a bit there. Now he can move one of any of these scouts to this light square right here to close off his wall. But he wants to keep all of these scouts protected by both champions, right? Because if this scout is off too far, like over here somewhere, it could be attacked, and then I can use Chastise on a single champion. And he doesn't want that. He's going to basically render Chastise not very useful by keeping all scouts in range of both champions. So, let's see. At this point, his Charge and Battle Cry are still on cooldown. So with that in mind, pause the video and see if you can find a good move for me here. So if you found Foot Soldier takes this scout specifically, then you found a good move. So my champion is going to be able to come in here actually with charge, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and attack one of these champions. But his champions actually can't come out. Even though normally I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away, this Foot Soldier is actually blocking the path of this champion over here. So, you could have taken this scout on a different square, but then you would have to use Chastise to freeze this champion in place, and you don't want that. Let's see. So actually, looking at this move, let me go back. So looking at this move, I do have plenty of command points. Perhaps I should have actually used Chastise on this scout, and then his champions can't escape. That would have been a deal breaker, really. Well, no. Alright, so if I use Chastise on this scout over here, then he's going to close the wall by moving this scout over. Right. But, or he can move this one back. So I guess, yeah, Foot Soldier here was definitely the right move, without using Chastise. Although, using, maybe using Chastise, was a good move. So let's rewind. I'm a bit indecisive about this. It's definitely worth looking at. So, if we actually went, and took this scout, and then we use Chastise on this scout, let's see. So what's gonna happen? He's definitely got to close the wall somehow. So, I would probably say move scout right here is the best move, perhaps. Just to keep the rest of these scouts in range, maybe. Because he's going to get Charge and Battle Cry next turn. And let's see, what would my response be if he's got Charge and Battle Cry right after this? Let's see. Does he have Chastise? Yeah, he has Chastise in this situation. So if he had, let's see, so my champion's definitely in 4 range. Okay. Let's see, so I'm actually thinking maybe Scout charges in to attack some more, and we would have 3 attackers in there. Although, you know, my champion's gonna get battle cried, so perhaps just Foot Soldier takes one of these scouts, and so let's see, that's 5. So So I think this would just be a worse version of what we ended up coming to. So let's rewind a bit. So let's see, I gotta go branch there. Alright, so I think this would be a worse version of what we came to just because I wasted that Chastise. Although it does make it a bit more interesting because what we did come to was this, and now all of the scouts are in range of both champions instead of just having that one scout on the outside. But again, I don't like having Chastise used because what I played here was champion takes this scout to open up both of his champions. And I also used Vigilance, right? So he doesn't really want to attack me with one of his champions, but he does have Scout takes Foot Soldier with Battle Cry and Chastise on my champion. So in that other situation, I think this would amount to the same thing. And again, here's that Scout charge and takes idea to get that double attack. So at the very least for this champion, I'm getting some Scouts. I had to sacrifice the Foot Soldier to that Battle Cry, but at least I'm getting a weaken off on one of these champions. Alright, so he's just gonna take, and he actually could have used Bombard on this Scout after taking the champion to keep his champions at full HP. Because remember, I don't have charge now to use charge and Battle Cry, but I guess he wanted to, save up as many command points as possible, and I think what he actually wanted to do was after I it was this champion with Battle Cry, I think he wanted to get me to use charge and Battle Cry with one of my other scouts so that he could push his other champion forward and attack my champion. I think really that's what he was aiming for. But I'm going to go ahead and say that using Bombard on the scout probably would have been a better idea. So I think he messed up in that respect. So he's going to actually threaten both of my scouts here with his back scout. And Bombard has this tricky idea where when you have 2 scouts left on the board, so obviously I have to trade one here, right? So I do that with a Vigilance. He's going to use Chastise. I'm going to develop my champion up a bit because he can't protect both champions now in a wall. and he's going to obviously recapture that. So now here's the point where I have these 2 scouts, and the thing Bombard wants to do, he wants to get me to trade one of these scouts. So in particular would be this one, and after that happens, he uses Bombard on my last scout, and that actually puts me at a considerable disadvantage. I don't have the charge and battle cry tactics with my scouts to pick off this champion. I would have to use a halberd or potentially find a way to push my champion up, and that's going to be even more dangerous considering he's still got these 2 scouts. To use charge and battle cry, he can use bombard and attack halberd with his scouts. He's got plenty of options. So I actually don't want to trade, so I'm pulling my scout back a bit, and he's going to push his scout forward 4 spaces here. So he is just out of range of this scout. And the reason he didn't want to push it here to try and make me trade again and to gain more space, because, look, that's out of range of the foot soldier. The reason he didn't want that is because I could use Vigilance on the scout at this point, and then he has to do something like Chastise. And then after that, I've actually got Charge and Battle Cry on this other scout. So I could actually charge this scout and attack, and then I've got 2 scouts up here, which are both threatening to use Battle Cry on this champion over here. And he doesn't want that. So I play my other scout up, and now I've got Charge and Battle Cry ready. And he's going to do, like I said before, he's pushing his full HP champion up, so when I use Charge and Battle Cry, and I use Chastise to save myself some turns, potentially get a weaken as well, he's actually going to play his other scout up and use Chastise on my scout. So I foresaw something a bit tricky here. So if his champion moves up 4 spaces, then he's actually in charge range of this halberd, and I didn't want him to fork 2 of my pieces over here. So I actually played the halberd back, and I could have used Vigilance on this scout to save him another turn, but after champion up, that's not going to be such a good idea because he's just going to leave this here while he's threatening my other units. And I want to use Vigilance on my champion to save it a turn. And I also get weaken up on his champion, so it's 400 HP now. So, pretty clever tactic to leave the scout there, not use Vigilance on him. A lot of foresight going on here. And let's see, I didn't want to sacrifice the foot soldier instead of the scout because the scout's out of range. Because he actually can't really take this foot soldier with the champion. Because it's going to be guarded by my other units. They have charge and battle cry. But he's going to finally capture this scout and give me another move. So naturally, I'm going to put my champion back, and at this point I have Chastise to use on his champion, so I go ahead and do that. And he takes my foot soldier, but he has to use Battle Cry in order to do it. So here's a pretty interesting move. I move my halberd up just 1 space, and maybe I should have moved it more spaces up. But the reason for this is simply because both of these halberds can use charge and battle cry on his champion right now, and this halberd is threatening to recapture this scout. I didn't move it up any farther just in case he did want to end up using charge and chastise. Maybe something crazy. I guess he wouldn't use chastise, but I didn't want him to try anything crazy like that. Maybe scout charge, bombard, I don't know. But I had to have both of these attacking him. Otherwise, he could use scout charge and bombard on the one scout threatening him and then retreat. But in this situation, he has to retreat, and I go ahead, capture that scout, and he's going to move back a bit more. Alright, so now I've got to chase him with my champion. I've got to push forward. let's see. So he mostly just sits there. You know, he puts his scout up a bit, and he actually uses Bombard on this halberd because he wants to use. I think he might have bombarded it a turn earlier, but he did get the Bombard off on this halberd, and now he's threatening it. But I play my other halberd up, and he actually used a Bombard here. So yeah, I think I missed that Bombard a turn ago, or 2 turns ago. But he did get the Bombard here, and then he used Bombard and attacked this halberd with a scout. So now I can capture this scout and use Vigilance on my halberd because his Bombard is on cooldown, so he's effectively safe. And he's going to use Chastise, so only thing to do here, push my champion up some more. And he actually moved this champion back another square. I think I have it a turn off, or maybe 2 turns off. But he normally this would be in charge and battle cry range of my champion, but he moved it back so I could actually push my champion up some more. So he used Bombard to finish off this halberd, and now we have a winning sequence here. So pause the video. I'll give you a hint. This sequence would work even if this champion, or sorry, even if the Bombard player had 1,000 command points, this sequence would still work. Right. So things to consider is that 1, his Bombard is on cooldown right now, and his champion's at 400 HP. So if you pause the video and you found champion takes and uses battle cry to defend, you found the right answer. So black actually doesn't have enough command points to use charge and battle cry, so I actually could have just stayed here and not used any commands, but if you weren't counting command points, then this is the right answer, like if he had 1,000 command points. So he moves over, and then champion takes with charge is a win. But if he had some more command points and he decided to use battle cry, at that point we would just use Vigilance on our champion to defend, because remember, he can't use Bombard and attacks because our champion would kill his first. So we would use Vigilance, and then he's got nothing, and then we can use charge in and finally finish him off. So thanks for watching this game, guys. If there were any alternate moves I didn't thoroughly look through that you would have liked, list them down in the comments below. What mistakes do you think both black and white made? What were some good moves? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts down in the comment, and join me again next time. Disclaimer, I did play 2 other Bombard games before this where I lost, so don't think that Vigilance is such an easy win versus Bombard. Alright, thanks for watching, and join me again next time.